let's just
use it.
let's keep going.
Yep.
And so that's when I was like, all right.
You guys, by the way, you guys are really good together.
He's a great partner. He really is. And
Very.
it's
He
and he
gets
does
you very well.
He does, and he pushes, and he has great ideas, and he always like. When I'll get to like because we launched a distribution side of our company, because that's the side of the company that makes money, and we were like, oh well that's helpful, but that's all Shannon's. Like he sees these things and he just goes down these lanes, but when Super Zeros was done, it was like, all right, well I just spent 8 months on this movie, but it's not getting me any more work. So back to videos.
But can I stop you for a second, though,
yeah.
real quick? Just can you remember where that is? I can't. I'm not good with that stuff. But when you did your first movie, did you even have an idea of what you were going to do once it was done?
No, and that's the problem.
Okay.
That's where, and Shannon will tell you too. It's like we just made a movie, and then it was like, all right, now what do we do with it?
I remember the woes. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
When he thought. Because he has, through the label, he had direct deals through Walmart, and he thought, all right, well, I can't get it on the shelves of Walmart as a movie, but I can get it on the shelves of Walmart as a music, as an album. Sure. So we made a soundtrack.
You're just trying to make your money back at that point.
So he sold the soundtrack, and you got a free movie with it.
I remember that. Okay.
And the problem was nobody knew to look for this movie in the soundtrack aisle of.
But that didn't stop you. You went right into Still the King.
Well, no. Then I said, all right, Shan, let's start a company. We started Hideout.
By the way, I remember being like completely envious.
Well,
in a good way of your logo. I was like,
over our logo,
because like you and I talked about like childhood, childhood adventure movies, Goonies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, those movies. That's Hideout.
When we started Hideout, that was the idea, and I wanted a fantasy factory, and so. I built my office with a secret door that had a Nerf wall behind it of Nerf guns, and we'd have Nerf battles. I had a zip line in the warehouse, and it was great. But I was making,
Tackle Box 2.0.
Well, it was like we'd ride skateboards around and ride bikes around, and it was awesome. But I wasn't creatively getting there because I had to do music videos to build Hideout, and I was doing, it was all through Shannon's company, so like they didn't spend $50,000-$80,000 on a music video. They spent like 5 to 10, maybe 15 sometimes.
That's a tough gig.
So it went from doing, Billy Currington at $90,000 to $15,000 and slogging through that. And it was like, and it was still fun. And those videos are great. And the people I worked with were amazing. But I still was like, all right, made a movie. Now I'm doing these. How do I get to the next step? And that's when this is, again, I guess, naivety, me not knowing you just don't do this. Shannon and I went to a lunch with Billy Ray Cyrus. It was a music lunch, and Shannon was like, "Just come along. We're gonna go to a meeting after that." He's like, "Just tag along. Billy Ray Cyrus will be there. We're in LA." And he's like, so we sit with Billy Ray Cyrus. They talk music for a minute, and then he goes, "Billy, tell him, didn't you have an idea for a show?" So Billy tells us this pitch of like X one-hit wonder crashes into a church, tricks the church into becoming a preacher. It's like, all right. And so we started talking. I was like, if it's dark, like My Name is Earl, a different side of Billy Ray could be cool. He's like, oh man, this is great. Like Billy Ray gets, all excited. We go back to his house on Toluca Lake after lunch. Billy Ray's trying on Elvis wigs and glasses. We're there for 2 hours. We like smoked a bowl out of a Red Bull can. Yeah. Like it was an amazing afternoon. And I said, hey, Billy, let me write the pilot. If you don't like it, throw it away. He goes, all right, cool. So on the flight home, talked about it with Shannon for a minute, like, oh, that was cool. We could do the show and we'll make it dark and everything. Get home, go back to normal life. 2 weeks later, Billy Ray calls me. It was a Thursday night. And he's like, hey, boss, I'm going to NBC tomorrow. I need that script. And I was like, all right, let me polish it up and I'll send it to you in the morning. And I hung up and I was like, fuck. But I didn't tell him no. So
that's great.
So I didn't know what to do. So Travis was in
That's
town.
the Potsy I remember. Just no, there is no.
Well, there's no because I want it. I want it.
Yes, I got you.
So I called Travis. I said, hey, where are you at? He goes, I'm heading to the airport. I'm heading because he was kind of splitting time in Nashville and LA.
Sure.
And he's like, I'm in Nashville, but I'm heading to the airport. I said, don't go. Come to the office. This is at 9:30 at night. Travis shows up with a 12-pack of beer and some Adderall. We wrote till 3:30 in the morning, wrote 25 pages, just hammering it out, like trading off, just making shit up. Woke up in the morning, we looked it over one time, and we're like, whatever. Sent it off at like 9 a.m. 2 weeks go by. We don't hear anything. Billy Ray calls. He's like, brother, I love this thing. Like, I love this thing. And we're like, wait, what? And so then I go to Shannon. I'm like, all right, what do we do? And he goes, let's shoot the pilot. And
See, that's where Shannon doesn't back down.
No,
he
and
goes
Shannon
right
even
into
put-
it.
he
Let's
put his own
invest.
money in.
Yes, let's invest.
So we raised 250 grand. I got 50 grand from a buddy in Florida.
How much? 200.
Fif-
No, how much total?
250 total.
250. Okay.
So I got buddy of mine gave me 50 grand. Shannon put in like 60, and then a couple other buddies gave us more money. So we had 250 grand. We shot this amazing pilot, and then we're like, we're gonna make this show.
I remember I sat for a while.
Shopped it all around town. Nobody wanted it. And then like 8 months later, Dave Downey, Billy Ray's manager, went to CMT and he walked in and they were like, this is amazing. And CMT had never done scripted TV before. They only did reality and music. And so they were like, we want it. We're going to do the show. So they fly me out to LA. I sat there for a month and re-edited the pilot.
I remember
to
that.
like kind of make it, it was really dark. Like he woke up with two naked girls in the bread truck. Like it was dark.